Alright guys, welcome back to part 2 of our set review. We are starting the lightning color, or crystal. Our first card is Red Mage. 3 lightning, backup. When you cast a summon, you may put Red Mage into the break zone. When you do so, choose one forward of cost 3 or less and break it. Again, probably can do better for less.
It seems like it's a card that's just there. It fills up space within the set.
Maybe for limited.
Oh, it's fantastic and limited. Don't get me wrong.
I feel it's a limited card.
It's not something I would actively play in Constructed.
Why is it a 3 cost?
That's your problem with it.
Yes.
Well, it has to be a 3 cost to break 3 cost or less.
Exactly.
Okay. I guess we can't ever get value lightning anymore.
Oh.
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be a long element.
Oh yes.
Oh, oops. Ignore that. Is that the right one next? Yeah, it is. Sorry, had a bit of problem with my OBS.
There we go.
All right. Argyle. 3 cost lightning. Always going to say the one before. 3 cost lightning forward, 7k. When Argyle is put into the break zone in any situation by your opponent's summons or abilities, add Argyle to your hand at the end of the turn. Damage 5. When Argyle is put from the field into the break zone, choose one forward of cost 3 or less opponent controls, break it. So it's the guy that starts with H, but with a break effect.
This is actually kind of funny because this is anti-discard tech.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. If you want to be really funny, and the first element to get anti-discard is lightning.
Didn't we have one before this?
Not anything like this.
No.
We had an Argy before, but it didn't do anything like this.
Okay, I could have sworn we had one other discard effect card, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, good. Yeah, I'm happy with the idea of this, and I guess
that's the only reason this card should ever see play.
Yeah, it's if Mono Ice discard takes off.
Yes, exactly.
Then you can start playing this thing in your lightning decks.
And considering what we've seen in Ice, that might be a thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably not.
The hope these boys have in Ice.
At least, and the damage 5 thing is kind of cool. Makes me want to rebuild Opus 10 starter Kefka.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Warrior of Darknesses, 2 cost lightning forward 5k Alba. When Alba enters the field or attacks, choose one card in your opponent's break zone, remove it from the game. If it's a summon, Alba gains haste until end of turn. If it's a character, Alba gets plus 3k power until end of turn. I still like the old one.
Old one's better.
Like, I like this.
I'm sorry, but I prefer this one over the old Alba.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So I love old Alba to bits. The whole dulling everything and then getting haste and all that stuff. This is break zone interaction.
Yeah, but if I want that in lightning, I'll play Kadaj.
I suppose so. But if for some reason I'm playing light cards in lightning, I'll play this.
Yeah, but why are you playing light cards?
Because one of them's rain and you're playing knights. I don't know.
Okay, we'll chalk it up to tech. How do you want to play the game? And welcome, Pokersloth.
Yes.
But I don't know. I like the idea of dulling and haste, especially well, actually, you can bring this one back with Diana anyway, so that's also good.
Yeah.
With that potential, maybe it could be possible to play both and just go with what you need.
Like a 2-1 split or something.
Yeah. Like that's still actually viable.
My whole thing is this thing's generic. Like, you don't have to rely on Warriors of Darkness for it to be good.
Yes. That's actually a really good point.
I mean, that's fine, but how often are you going to give it haste? Like, we mentioned summons before and how few there's ever going to be in any opponent's deck.
Also, this is sorcery speed as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think
at the very least with Kadaj's break zone interaction, you can't respond to it.
I still think the old Alba is better, but I do see that this one has potential and can be used. And it doesn't cost 6 like X-Death. Was it X-Death that was the first graveyard removal?
5 cost.
Yeah, a 5 cost one. Speaking of X-Death, I called that really well.
Huh. Well, here we go.
Alright. 4 cost lightning backup. When X-Death enters the field, remove any number of forwards in your break zone, each of a different cost, from the game. When you do so, choose one forward of cost equal to or less than the number of cards you removed. Break it. Maybe Highlander?
It's limited filler. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurts that it's an X-Death, so it doesn't work with Ned. I just want a good X-Death, man. Like,
well, Ned is an X-Death, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the one character can't have infinite possibilities like Zidane. Is that what you want? Another Zidane?
You guys had a good X-Death 9 sets ago. You just blew it.
For about 15 seconds, yes.
Sorry, X-Death.
We're sorry. Move on.
Odin, 6 cost lightning summon. The cost required to cast Odin is reduced by 1 for each card name Odin in your break zone. It cannot become 0. Choose one forward, break it. It is literally an upgrade of 7 cost Odin without any X burst.
So here's my opinion on this card, right? This is an amazingly powerful and fantastic card 3 sets too late.
Yes.
Yep. Should have been printed with the lightning, and even then now it's just kind of bad because you're telling me I have to run the 6 cost that's a complete and total lightning rod for Amaterasu.
Exactly.
Also,
you're also kind of relying on having a bunch of Odins in your break zone. The moment somebody realizes that you're putting Odins in the break zone to make this Odin cheaper, they're just going to eat your break zone.
Mm-hmm.
Also, mono Odins means you're not running that 3 cost lightning, the mode one, the charm. Can't remember its name right now.
Ramu,
yeah. The more Odins you're running, the less Ramus you're running, and that in lightning actually feels painful.
Yep, hurts a lot.
So, yeah. I don't know, maybe there's potential for this down the road if we get more mono Odin love, but at the moment...
It's saying that as well. The more Odins you're running, the less Exodus you're running, and Exodus is probably the most important removal spell that Lightning has right now.
Yeah. I still feel the Idea is just a better 6 cost removal at this point.
Yeah, and Idea has an EX burst as well. So.
And he's a forward.
Exactly.
And he's a forward.
Yeah, and he's a forward, so it can attack and block.
Yeah. And has a special that, is a removal as well.
Yep.
Okay, Gilgamesh. I have not seen this one.
5 cost incredibly powerful removal pieces.
Oh yes.
5 cost lightning forward 9k. Put Gilgamesh into the break zone. Choose one forward. Break it. It has a dull ability. Search for 1k named. I actually can't read that from here.
Enkidu.
One card named Enkidu and play it onto the field dull.
Yep, and it also
has... This is the card that is the reason why Enkidu is a 0 cost forward.
Ah.
Yep.
3 lightning and 2 generic. Choose one damage forward, break it. Wow, this is actually really good.
So this Gilgamesh is very worthy of its rarity. It is hooked as hell. And
I love the art. The multiple swords for the multiple kill abilities is hilarious.
Yep.
I just love the fact that Enkidu actually plays into Gilgamesh's 3rd ability as well, because when Enkidu comes into play, it pings for 1k AoE. So suddenly Gilgamesh's 3rd ability switches on, and you can just start killing stuff. Like, this Gilgamesh is bonkers powerful, and if you're playing any kind of lightning deck, you're running this Gilgamesh and 1 copy of Enkidu.
Also, the fact that this Gilgamesh, unlike the others, needs special abilities, this one does not. So he's just good on his own. Exactly. You don't need to run 50 Gilgameshes like you normally do for the other ones. Which I think is a very big difference there.
And here's another thing that makes this Gilgamesh so damn powerful. what removal spells are you going to use on this thing?
None.
You're not going to use any sort of removal on this Gilgamesh because it's just going to crack something of yours.
Yeah, it's like attack with BFA. Target your Gilgamesh. Come on, sack Gilgamesh. Break
It
brush.
literally counters Ned.
Yeah, to an extent, but like.
It's just the sheer fact that this is a card that has a cost of 5 and a power of 9k that you could play onto a neutral board and be happy about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the rarest circumstance that you'll ever see in Opus 12. A card that you will actually pay for its cost and happily play it. And doesn't actually draw you extra cards or anything like that. This is it kind of does because it searches for Enkidu to put into play Doll.
Yeah.
But you have to wait a turn for that. This is a card that you will happily play onto an open field and just enjoy yourself.
I will note, though, I feel it will only really see worth in mono lightning, because 3 lightning is really tight there to get that third ability.
See, on that point, I would slightly disagree, because yes, the triple lightning cost is pretty expensive if you're not playing mono lightning. But on the same token, this card goes into any deck that's playing lightning cards.
Yes, you can run it in others, but I feel it'll shine more in a mono lightning.
Only if you are relying on using that third ability often.
Also, as another thing, it's a 5-cost 9k that has no auto ability to speak of.
Oh, no Amaterasu.
I mean, yeah, it didn't die to Amaterasu anyway, but they can't just go, cool, counter your break.
Yeah.
And on that note, yeah, it's also, Diablos doesn't really do anything against it, because you can just kill a forward in response.
Yeah.
Even if you target one of your own forwards, you don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're going to try and do something to my Gilgamesh. Well, Gilgamesh is going to do something to your board that you're not going to like.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah,
I'm
really sad I didn't see this during the pre-release events I did.
Yeah. Your boy's trying to get 3 foil.
Sid for Cook, FFCC. 2 lightning backup. It has a dull ability. Choose one character opponent controls. Select one counter placed on it, and remove the selected counter. I'm guessing this is a setup if they start doing more counter stuff.
This is actually a very entertaining interaction with Choco Latte if you're playing in a pre-release or anything like that.
Yeah.
I actually had this interaction. Somebody's going, I'm going to put a counter on Choco Latte. And I'm sitting there with Sid FFCC going, I'm going to remove the counter.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I could keep doing this all day, and it's going to cost you 1 backup. And I'm just like, that's fine. I could keep doing this all day, and it's going to cost you 1 backup. We're even.
Yeah, I think this is probably a card set up for potential future, because I think the monster cycle from either last set or the set before, Lael and Chocolate are the only real cards I can think of that put counters on them.
The new Lena in this set as well is probably the most relevant card you can take counters away from.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, the Lena.
I'll say this. Northstalin can now search Lightning CP.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, that's valid.
That's part of why I
Is there an element of CP that Northstalin can no longer search for? I don't think there is. I think you can search for everything.
Yeah, I think FFC's pretty much opened up to all 5 or all 6
to all colors now.
Yeah.
So Northstalin is now secretly.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oof. No, we'll see where that takes us. This one I really liked. Sid Previa. 1 cost forward 2k. When Sid Previa enters the field, choose 1 forward other than Sid Previa. He gets haste until end of turn.
Okay. I'm very high on this card as well.
Just 1 cost. Just because the 1 cost.
3 words come to mind. What the and hell.
Yeah.
Again, what were they thinking? How did this card see print?
It's a
perfectly simple.
Yes.
They wanted to make the XYZ combo more accessible.
Oh yeah, and they wanted to make Bart give everything haste.
Well, that's also why I was thinking XYZ in haste shell, because I wanted to chuck this in to make it worse, because this will also sorry, in the storm shell, because this also works in storm.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent, yes. The main reason this cut is just downright silly is because the keyword it gives is haste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a forward in its own right as well. You don't really care, but I think the one thing that's going to make this really fun to play is actually Puck.
Yes.
Yeah, we literally were talking about that yesterday, me and Ryan.
Mm.
And I also like that Bart's can search this guy out to give something not part of the Bart's combo haste as well. And then it has haste.
Bart's given everything haste.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I actually wanted to do that for pre-release, but didn't get enough lightning. I like the idea of playing something, play Bart's with the Chocobo, swing with them, get Sid Previa, give the other thing haste, and then swing with Sid Previa because I probably opened up the field by then.
Yep.
So this one I feel has got a lot of potential and should see a lot of attention.
It's another
during
one of those
competition.
fantastically cooked lightning cards that have come in this set.
Long time coming.
Is lightning the new fire then?
I hope not.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, no.
Lightning doesn't have enough. Lightning doesn't have enough Basker's final Aeons to become the new fire.
Gilgamesh is the closest they're gonna get.
I would say the one that has haste and double attack, maybe.
Estinian.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I love him.
What's even worse is that his break effect can be procced by Amaterasu.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. No. Fair point. Fair point. I can concede when I know I'm wrong. J-Gran, 6 cost lightning forward 8k. When J-Gran enters the field, you may search for one job princess of 3 cost or less and play it onto the field.
Amazing ability, amazing job, wrong element.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's FFCC, but yeah.
It's in the wrong element for what it's doing.
Yeah, I was just about I can't think.
Like,
lightning.
Being fair, a lot of good stuff for knights is in lightning. Like, you got access to all of the Ramses, you got access to the tutor with Duke Goltana, and you got access to a few other really powerful knights in lightning. But the problem is, knights as a job archetype are moving away from lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the card came 4 sets too late and should have been wind.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have even been wind. It should have been water.
I was going to say water was the best one I could think of for it, because that's where the knight, prince and princess, and king and queen stuff is all at.
But that being said, we got 2 super playable wind princesses this set, so
That's true.
100%. Ash and Althea were fantastic, but you're not playing lightning wind knights.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Hence why I feel the card should have been wind.
Maybe down the road if we get more in those colors, but yeah.
If we get lightning princesses, then sure.
Yeah.
All right. Diana. So we got a Diana in this as well. Warrior Darkness. 3 cost lightning backup with an EX burst. When Diana enters the field, you may search for one forward of cost 1 and add it to your hand.
This is another reason why Sid Previa is so dumb. It's got a tutor. It's got a tutor. And the same with Borgin as well. It's got a tutor.
Yeah.
Who thought it was a great idea to give these busted, dumb, 1-drop forwards a tutor effect with EX burst written on it?
Yep.
Square, obviously.
Obviously.
I don't care. Also... as a general, I love this game, so I'm never going to blame them for doing something dumb like this.
But that being said, there is another card that this card searches, which I'm going to bring up later, that is also going to be one of its better use cases.
Also, at its lesser thing, it can search up the Chocobo for Barts.
Yeah, it searches Boko as well.
Yeah, it searches up Boko for Barts, and then that way, you essentially the card lets you search for 2 1 costs.
Yeah.
Yep.
This card with the win package, if you want to use Barts, is just play it, search for 2 1 costs.
It's one of
Yeah.
those just why, and
Actually,
then
it's not even. It's not even. It's search for one and play and search for the other as well, because you get to play it
yep,
for free.
yep,
So it's essentially zero cost if you do it in that shell.
Yeah.
yeah. And
This is a
it's
fun one.
solid
Huh?
in that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this. Ninja. 4 cost backup in lightning. When Ninja enters the field, choose one forward you control, return it to its owner's hand. If you do so, you may play one forward that costs 1 CP more than it from your hand onto the field. This one's actually,
Okay, so the effect on this card is actually really quite interesting, and that's why I like it
Yeah,
because
that's what I was
it, it,
thinking.
it lets you go. I've already got value out of this amazing ETB from this high cost forward, for example. Say, for example, you played a nail, you've already got the value, and you've done this thing, right? You can then play this ninja, pick up the nail,
Put
play a for
BFA.
Sawyer,
Yeah.
play a for Sawyer, kill
Oh.
a thing, draw 2 more cards, and play your nail again to get another powerful ETB effect.
I was going to say, the thing that does this for me is return to hand, not put into break zone.
Yes, that's exactly why this card is very interesting, and
Mm.
I'm looking forward to seeing people play around with this card.
Yeah. I
It's
feel like
very interesting. It's very spicy, and I feel like it has a home.
Well, you could
I'm
also,
still not
like,
quite sure of the home, but it has one.
well, like I was going to say, you bounce your nail to play Braska's Final Aeon.
yeah. I feel like this card already has a home. Yeah.
No,
Because like bounce my Verstale, play my nail or whatever, and then I can bounce my nail to play whatever broken 7-drop, be it for Sawyer, for Thanos, Sephiroth, or, you know, if it comes down to it, bounce Kane, play Shantoto.
Also, even though we don't see this much in this game, it has the potential to let you play not your colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, have a splash of, you know, a cost X that you're basing this around, that you play through this.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I just came up with something stupid. This may actually make Thancred playable.
All
Yeah.
right, let's hear it.
I'm just trying to think, right? Because I'll try and think of the deck as we're going through the list, but this might actually be the card that makes Thancred playable.
Oh, something
Not casting Thancred for 7 CP.
Okay, good.
Casting
That's
4.
the only way that it'll be. That's the only way it'll be viable if you're not casting Thancred for 7.
Okay.
And this ninja might be the way to do it. I don't know yet, but it might be the way.
So sleeper hit then.
It
Right.
could be the way. It would require a very specific deck, but it could be the thing.
Well, next card up is Vivi. 3 cost lightning forward with EX burst. It is a 6k. When Vivi enters the field, choose one active forward. If its cost is equal to or less than the damage you have received, break it. That's... So it's just a cheaper... What's it called? Cecil, but for active instead of dull.
Exactly. It's like this card is actually really quite powerful.
Yeah. I could see this coming out of nowhere doing a lot of work.
The big caveat is obviously that it has to hit active things, and historically, an EX burst hitting active things is way worse than an EX burst hitting dull things. But it's also the fact that this thing, like this Vivi, could take something out that it probably has no right taking out.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I can easily see this being like that big blowout card that changes a game right around.
Potentially, yeah. I think we've lost someone. We lost
Yeah, I'm
Ryan
wondering
from
if
our
we've lost
call.
Ryan because he's been quiet for a bit. I was just checking that now. Sorry guys, doing a little tech work. It looks like we lost Ryan.
We are experiencing technical difficulties.
And I was about
Please
to do
hold.
Yeah, I'm glad I was about to do an audio check.
Wait, do we have a Ryan back? We have a Ryan back.
Sorry about that.
Hey.
Crazy.
Oh, it's alright. It's not a stream unless you have one hiccup. And it's not the worst hiccup
Yeah.
that could have happened. To be honest, I'm glad nothing has gone wrong. This is the first time setting anything like this up for myself, so I've only done like 2 streams in total. This is my 3rd stream, so the fact that everything is working and it's not been too bad, I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we're talking about Vivi at the moment.
Oh boy!
Yeah, card is quite good. I just want to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, so it's a VV, so automatically 10 out of 10. Now, it justifies the Opus 11 Kuja, because now they just happen to work well together. And it's got the right words. I just don't know whether it's the right to, like, be playing a card like this.
Also, another important note for those that love playing mono lightning decks, this is a 3-drop lightning forward.
For yes, Mr. El Cid.
Yeah. Though this is the one EX burst you don't want to see after they've gone through their full attack cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hurt a lot.
Yeah. But it's kind of good to have a opposite coin to Cecil, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm really loving this card. This is the first time I've seen it, so I'm really actually liking what I'm seeing on this card.
Yeah, certainly very good.
Alright. Firion. 2-cost lightning backup. It has a dull ability. Choose one forward, deal at 4k. You can only use this ability while a party you control is attacking. Yeah.
Be absolutely surprised how decent that effect is, considering the deck that we were just talking about, the Wind Lightning Bart's Boko party deck. So this card is actually like a shoo-in for that deck, I think.
Yeah, but if you're playing the Wind, you have better options that do kind of this stuff already, I feel.
It's also very important to note that this is a lightning card that can hit dull forwards.
For a change.
That's actually true. Yeah, it's in the right color for what it does. Actually, I'm turned around on that.
The card, hear me out on this one. This is a 2-cost backup that only does something while you're party attacking, but if you're playing in a deck that specifically focuses around doing a lot of party attacking, this card is in the nuts. Like 4k damage without breaking itself. That's another big key. 4k damage on dull without breaking itself. Yes, it's restricted to while you're doing a party attack, but there's another card that we'll talk about later that does some immense damage while you're doing party attacks. So this card and that card put together could see forwards disappear very quickly while you're party attacking.
And like I've been saying from the beginning with, that Chocobo that says multicolor can party now, this card might actually, with all the combination this set has given us, this might be something that surprises me. I'll say that. It might be the card that surprises me.
I certainly would not sleep on this thing. It's very solid.
Yeah, I'm honestly still not sold on it.
Like I said, chat, deck testers, prove us wrong if we're saying something that you disagree with.
Please prove me wrong. I don't want to be right.
Look, the good thing about being proven wrong is you've learnt a lesson out of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going for here.
Water Lightning Una comes to mind. Huh.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Behemoth. 5-cost monster. So this is the lightning card of that cycle. The 2 effects are, it's a 9k forward, or put it into the break zone. When you do so, choose one forward, break it.
Next,
yeah.
You can do a lot worse, but you can certainly do a lot better next.
Fantastic and limited, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Definitely. So this is a card you either want to draft or open your sealed, but not one you want to put in your deck afterward.
Yeah.
Or after the tournament, I mean, not in that tournament. You put it in that tournament's deck.
It's amazing for limited, but nowhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mid-Previa.
This is the card that I was talking about earlier in combination with Firion.
Okay, so 4-cost lightning forward, 6k. When a party you control attacks, choose one active forward opponent controls, deal it AK damage. When Mid Previa enters the field, choose one lightning forward of cost 1 in your break zone, play it onto the field. Huh.
So it combos with the Sid Previa, which we already know is going to be an absolutely cooked card.
Yep.
It also, like, it doesn't have to be part of the party to deal the AK damage.
So you can play an attack with another 2 that entered previously.
Exactly. This card is actually really quite silly. If you're planning on putting together the party game, like Mid Previa is a fantastic way to do it. Plus, it also specifically says like one cost lightning forward, so it doesn't restrict itself to Sid Previa. You could also play Opus 1 Katesif if you feel like dulling something else.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm liking this, and yeah, it makes Furion a lot more useful. So yeah, because with Furion, that's 12k.
Yeah. I'll say that I'm a lot higher on mid than I am on Furion.
Yeah, I will say that, and because mid is the one that. But
you do a lot of value, and this is evolution.
I completely agree that mid is the more powerful between Furion and mid, but at the same token, mid is still very powerful for what it does. And the best part is it doesn't have to be in the party to deal the AK damage.
Yeah,
it can just sit there. You don't have to risk it in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since it's a 6k, it's very fragile.
Exactly. It's a 2-cost 6k, but it's also just it's a 2-cost 6k.
Yeah. So combo. Treat it like a combo piece. It's very good when it's on the field, but you don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And evolution. First it was Sid plays mid. Now it's mid plays Sid.
Actually, yeah. But you can't do both in the same deck. Well, you
can, but dangerous.
Ramu, 5-cost lightning summon, EX burst. Choose one active forward and break it.
Next.
Yeah.
Ramu, you've fallen so far. You were good. Oh, one of the best foils in the deck. 3-cost Dragoon. Lightning forward 7k. When Dragoon enters the field, you may reveal any number of job Dragoon cards or cards named Dragoon from your hand. When you reveal 1 or more, Dragoon gets haste until end of turn. In addition, when you reveal 4 or more, choose one forward, break it. This would be great in Dragoons. I don't know how good Dragoons are.
Okay. So, being that guy who plays Dragoons all the time, I can tell you that you are never going to activate the second part of its effect.
Okay.
Your hand's too empty for it.
Yeah, you dump out your hand way too quickly. Like, it'll be a 3-cost 7k with haste most of the time, but you already have Barbara to give everything haste anyway, so...
You don't care about that.
You're using it for what it is, you're not using it for what it does.
Okay, that's what I thought, but like I said, I haven't had much experience with the Dragoon, so I didn't want to say, oh, I believe this without having touched the deck. But that is what I was feeling when I read this. I think it's a cool idea, but... yeah, it's not going to work because it's relying on you not playing aggro in an aggro deck.
Yeah, I think the next card is better off for Dragoons.
Let's see this. So, hold on. What was the rarity? So, they're both common. Okay. That would have been hilarious. Yeah. We got another Dragoon. 2-cost lightning backup with a dull ability. Put Dragoon into the break zone. Choose one job Dragoon or card named Dragoon in your break zone. Add it to your hand. That's actually really cool. Okay. It's an early game backup for Dragoon, and it recurs your best Dragoon for late game. That's actually decent, yeah.
So this is the card that Dragoon players have been begging for.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. We finally have a card named Dragoon backup that also happens to be recursion. So, Barbara dies, get her back. Aranea dies, get her back.
And it's 2-cost backup.
Kane dies, get him back. Yeah,
and it's 2-cost backup.
So literally no opportunity cost.
Yeah, and again, it's not something you have to do when you play it. It's something you do later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Kane.
So it was the card that the Dragoon players were begging for. Just a card that has Dragoon and is a backup.
Well, congratulations are in order then. Pop the champagne.
Yeah. They didn't have to give it a good effect either. Like,
Yeah, this is another case of similar to the samurai we were talking about earlier. It would be played just for its card name alone.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's really good. I'm always there for hasty boys.
Yeah.
Our first water card. We've moved on to water, and it's Blue Mage. We have a Blue Mage in blue. Finally. 4-cost water backup. When Blue Mage enters the field, choose one forward opponent controls, return it to its owner's hand.
Poor Shuyin.
Wouldn't you rather just play a
Yeah.
removal?
Okay, I got one for you. Blue Mage, more like Boo Mage. Next.
Yeah, just play removal, people. Just play removal. Don't worry about this.
So being fair to Blue Mage, this card is amazing in limited. Like this,
Yeah.
it swings the game like nobody's business in limited. The problem is, it's in the element that has the least good effects that can capitalize on it.
Like, this feels like a Opus 1 card that we're a million years away from at this point.
So here's the funny thing about that, right? It feels like an Opus 1 card, but it's actually better than an Opus 1 card.
Yeah.
By like 2 sets.
Yep.
But we're at set 12, so that's still pretty bad.
Yeah, rip Shuyin. Next.
Yeah. Sorry, Blue Mage. Oh, we have the Ultros!
Yes!
The Ultros! 2-cost water...
Octopus.
2-cost water forward, 5k. When Ultros is put from the field into the break zone, you may pay 1 water. When you do, search for 1 card named Ultros and add it to your hand. He also has a dull effect, which is really good. Put Ultros into the break zone, choose 1 forward, it loses 5k power until end of turn. Question, can you cycle between the 2 searches on the 2 different Ultroses?
Yes.
Cool. I'm happy now.
Yeah, I think we all are. Like,
this card basically says, I should have came out when the other Ultros came out.
Yep.
Yeah, but you don't want to oversaturate the Ultros market. You want to feed it slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also want to deal 7k AoE when I attack. So, you know.
Don't we all?
Yeah, like it's sure it's not going to see any play, but it's Ultros. That's all that matters.
But
which Ultros am I searching out? Hmm.
Either of them. Anyway, this card is like the card by itself is actually pretty solid.
Yeah. Like neg
5, pay 1 extra, search for another one. It's not bad.
No, I think it's really good. I do like the idea that maybe when we're like 4 or 5 Ultroses through, they have a card that says if you've played like 1 of each Ultros, you get some big ability.
When you play 1 of each Ultros, you win the game.
I wouldn't go Exodia far, but that would be something kind of cool. Like if you they all search for each other, so if you could search through the entire cycle.
I would totally say if you've played, I'd say if you've got like 10 or more card name Ultros in your break zone,
win the game or something.
Your opponent loses the game.
No, 8 or more. 1 for each 10.
I liked how this card has turned us from like trying to professionally rate this game to breaking it. It's like it just flips a switch in your brain that you don't realize. Yeah. That's the power of Ultros.
That's what he do. Ultros gang represent.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ultros gang if you guys are watching.
Yeah.
I hope you are. If
not, watch the YouTube channel and leave a comment.
Yeah.
Gonna keep doing that, damn it. You got Scholar.
Right.
4-cost water backup. When Scholar enters the field, choose up to 2 active forwards you control, dull them, then draw 1 card for each forward you have dulled due to this ability. You can do better stuff for less, I feel.
Only time this card is actually going to be good is if you turn 1 Layla Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100% my thought behind it is you Layla Viking, you play this, you've still got a full hand, and you've got 3 things to play.
But
So
you still kind of wouldn't want to do that anyway. There's not much point wasting a backup slot in water, which, by the way, has among the best backups available to it.
also,
Yeah.
you don't want to turn a consistent 2-cost combo into a 3-cost combo for nothing.
Yeah,
Because you're getting 2 cards by discarding 2 cards for the Scholar, so it's negating itself.
exactly. It's not paying for itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cute. That's about it.
Yeah, more or less. And good art too.
Yeah, I like the art. That would
Will
make
it
a
come
really
in
good
full
foil.
art?
Yeah. Oh, is it a
It
full
does
art?
come in full art, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It would make a really good full art.
Yeah, I reckon.
Captain! So the water cycle of the monsters, and I believe the final one. I don't know if there's a hybrid one, but I believe this is the final one.
It is, thankfully.
Final.
3-cost water monster. It can either be a 7k, or you put it into the break zone. When you do so, choose one forward, return it to its owner's hand, draw 1 card, then discard 1 card from your hand. You can do all of that and less with no downside.
If I'm playing this captain, I've got to ask myself why the hell I'm not playing Leviathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Next.
it's sorcery speed over instant speed that doesn't have a downside.
Hmm.
Leviathan has EX burst written on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about. You literally just beat me to it. I was like, also, isn't the other one an EX burst?
Yeah.
It's just
And, like,
why? And
the-
no.
Yeah.
The literal only thing this has going for it is the job warrior, but that deck is not viable. So
Yeah, but I think at
Can't
this
even
point we're
search
giving.
for it. It's not a job warrior forward.
Yeah.
yeah. No, actually, no. You can search for it with Yu-Yerg, and that's about it.
Best
Alright,
part of the card. You possibly can tutor it. Sorry, Captain, you're getting demoted. Next.
Out you go.
We got
Doesn't
Kiss.
even make Lieutenant.
2-cost water backup. When Kiss enters the field, look at the top card of your deck and your opponent's deck. Put them on top or bottom of the respective decks. You may dull him. Choose 1 card named Lael. It gains plus 2k power until end of turn. So this would be probably one of the few cards that works with the Ultimecia trick we were talking about earlier. But
100%.
that's about it.
I quite like this card for, and I'm going to sound like a broken record here, providing information about your opponent's deck.
Yeah.
And
But
not just that, if you don't like what your opponent's going to draw, you can get rid of it.
And if you do like what your opponent's going to draw, you can steal it with Lani.
Yeah, I was going to
Exactly.
say, even if you don't run the Laels, the top ability is still on its own decent.
Yeah,
And it has an archetype deck that it's perfect for, or just general play.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, and also this is another FFCC backup. So
Yeah.
that,
You can tutor it.
it's a search. It can be searched by Northstarland, but again, information so powerful, so key.
Yes.
It's not just information, it's also a bit of control, because you get to put it on the bottom, as you said.
Yeah,
It does more than just information.
but yeah, if you do want to truly meme it, then you play this card with the Ultimecia. Then you
Yeah.
just go, oh, I'm gonna play Kais. Oh, you're getting something of no value. I'm getting something of value. Now here's my Ultimecia. Flip. Oh, I saw what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've got waifu number 2, or technically number 3 if you count Undead Princess. Quancho Queen from WAF. 4-cost water forward, 8k. Quancho Queen is also a monster in all situations, so it's sort of reverse of monsters. That's pretty cool. When Quancho Queen enters the field, choose 1 monster of 2 costs or less in your break zone, add it to your hand. If it's also a forward, play it onto the field instead. So this won't work for the monsters within this cycle, which is a little bit sad.
Yeah.
This works for the last monster cycle.
I really wish they printed a water version of, like, Frit, Babblers, and Zap.
Those are the 2 cards that are going to be paired with this card, I think.
Yeah.
Because then
I
you
think
can
Zap-
say this is a 2-cost 8k that brought a forward back.
Yeah, that's
realistically.
then going to search another card, so it effectively costs 0.
Yeah.
But the problem is, water doesn't really pair well with anything other than fire coming into the new set. And if you're building water fire, you're probably playing Warriors of Light, which doesn't have space for Quasho Queen or Frit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Certainly one to look out for.
And to be honest, you're not going to break you actually cannot break the earth-fire combo of WoF. You physically cannot, because there's not enough backups in water to make up what you're losing. So
The thing is, there is a backup in water that is WoF. The problem is, it is also a card named Posher Queen.
Yes.
So it's just sort of like, why?
Yeah, I feel this is a waste of a WoF card, in my opinion.
I think it's going forward. It could be just because if we ever get some more 2-cost forwards that always treat themselves as monsters.
Yeah, but there
could be several more to come.
Yeah,
like I feel like the ceiling will go up depending on what's printed, but at the moment it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I feel like it could have been any other character is why I was saying it's a bit of a waste of a WoF. Alright. Sildra, 4-cost water summon. Search for two water characters. Sorry, search for 2 water character... That comma's going to kill me. Search 2 water characters. 2 category 5 characters, or 1 of each with different cost, and add them to your hand. That was a mouthful.
Alright.
This card is hooked.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Mono water as a deck historically, it's been really good, provided it can get its combos together. And it's had trouble doing that.
Till now.
I search my water combo. It's Layla Viking, Lena plus 2 drop, or Nicole plus Cagnazzo. Any of that stuff is now all searchable.
Yeah.
As long as it's 2 separate costs. It's
as long as it's
filthy.
2 separate costs.
It also allows you... this card also allows you to run something like 12 or 13 backups in a mono water deck. It's disgusting, because it's not forwards, it's characters. So you can go turn 1 Sildra, search for my Merwib and my Yuna, play the Yuna.
And speaking of with Yuna, this thing might as well be a 3-cost.
Yeah.
Also, this may be situational, but it's an end of... You can do it at the end turn, or not end turn, the second main. So you could see what your opponent is playing and then decide what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Int speed goodness.
Yeah. Like, you don't even have to decide if you've got enough, like, you don't have to discard, obviously. You can go, I wonder what they're going to do. Cool, I know this is what I want now.
Yeah. Even if half the time it's going to be Universal.
Yeah. I still think
But that's fine, though. You don't care if it's just Universal. Like, or if you know your opponent's playing a deck that's not going to have a great deal of interaction early, you could just go, oh, here's my Layla Viking.
Yeah. And, we've come a long way since Opus 3 Sildra, I tell you what.
Yeah. The good old days. I feel
let's go back.
Yep.
Strago! 5-cost water forward, 7k. When Strago enters the field, choose 1 forward opponent controls, return it to its owner's hand. Then you play 1 character of the same cost as it from your hand onto the field. Huh.
This card is a sleeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Purely because it's character. So you can go, I'm going to bounce your, I'm going to bounce your Ritz, and then I'm going to play a tutor. You've just turned Strago into, I want to say, a 0 CP forward. I may be incorrect here. It's just quick maths in my head. But you've basically turned your Strago into a 0-cost forward.
Yeah, I see a lot of potential here. And, getting rid of your opponent's, or bouncing your opponent's big thing to play your big thing for free and making them recast it is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Especially since, even against the worst case scenario, against Braska's Final Aeon, they kill the Strago, it bounces, and then you play your big thing.
Yeah.
Because they have to kill the Strago because you don't play yours until the BFA's removal. They have to target something on the field, which the card you're about to play is not on yet.
Yeah. The one big problem I have with this card is that it's a 5-cost that trades way too poorly with Amaterasu.
Yeah.
It could be because the whole effect is one single
thing
gets counted.
Yeah, it's one single auto ability. Yes, we could say that about a lot of cards for Amaterasu.
Suppose I should just not bring it up at this point.
No, it's fair. Like, that's the point of today.
It is
talking
a
about
fair point. In saying that as well, like, you've basically traded 5 CP for 5 CP if they're going to Amaterasu your Strago. And there you don't really mind.
Especially if you're ahead in water with backups.
Yeah.
And it would be
I feel like
your
this is also... This will be really good in water fire as well, just because of things like Forza and Alpha Node.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Cat 6, so that's also maybe relevant.
Yeah, actually. But
the Cat 6 part is only relevant if you're playing ice cards beside it, to be honest.
which I actually
Yeah.
have seen.
Yeah, it's not disagreeing with that. Like, Water Ice FF6 is probably the way FF6 would be going forwards, because
Especially with 7
Realm
cost
is
tomorrow.
cooked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Strago bounce a 5 cost, play Realm, set up your board.
Yeah. Still.
Alright, so this is a good one to keep an eye on. Hopefully people can test out and play.
Yeah, definitely.
Sleeper.
Oh, this is the good one now. 6 costs backup Sarah FFL. When Sarah FFL enters the field, you may search for up to 2 category FFL forwards or job Warrior of Light forwards and add them to your hand. It has a dull ability. Put Sarah FFL into the break zone. Choose one forward. Activate it. I just think this passive one is ability. It's like the what's the 6 cost Earth that brings 2 characters from bin to hand?
Infilia.
Yeah,
Man.
it's the Minfilia of water, and especially for Warrior of Light.
I would liken this a lot more to Cindy.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pay that. It's probably closer to Cindy. I just haven't seen Cindy played as much.
Cindy sees as a singleton in Rampart because it's got the Kingsglaive engine in it.
Yeah,
But this is another sizable linchpin for Warrior of Light. Just being able to search for Warrior of Light forwards and just, like, I'm going to set up this game plan sort of thing. There's so much that you can do with this card. I don't even think we really need to speak about it, to be honest. It's like the card speaks for itself.
It has a very useful break ability that allows you to play another one after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can
And
just
you
at
know.
whatever time you need to untap something as a ambush, break it, next turn play another one to search again.
Yeah. You know, also searches out FFL forwards, so if we get any good ones of those...
Yeah. So this
Warriors
works
of Light anyway.
Yeah, so this kind of
Yeah.
works over multiple formats, which is really big.
Big deal, this.
Yeah. Next
this
up,
is one to watch.
Astrologen. 2 cost water backup. It has a dull ability. Put Astrologen into the break zone. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it is not a backup, add it to your hand. This set has a lot of peak on top of your decks synergy this time round.
Astrologian, like, the effect of the Astrologian has been seen on another backup already. But as far as this one goes, yes, it doesn't really speak volumes, but playing it in limited, this is actually, like, being able to just open up a backup slot and potentially draw a card. Like, if it's a backup on top of your deck, who cares? If it's not, then you draw a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately we haven't seen Oops all forwards in a very long time in this game.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, really.
It's the right card for the wrong time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But may see its time again if we see some more stuff that works with it.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Yep. Dusk. 3 cost water forward, 7k. When Dusk enters the field, you may pay 1 water. When you do so, play 1 forward of cost 3 or less from your hand onto the field. It has a special blessing. 1 water. Choose 1 forward of cost 3 or less other than Dusk. It gets plus 5k power until end of turn. Draw 1 card. It is a Warrior of Light. That is why I love this.
Yes, it is.
It's not just a Warrior of Light. It's a Warrior of Light that free plays the Alpha node to search for something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also was playing, what's it called? The Light card from this. The Warrior of Light card.
Yeah.
With that. So paying...
Lena?
Yeah, Lena.
Yeah. That is
I also had the Ferris thing where I played Ferris, made it cost 1, paid another 1 to play another card.
Yeah.
So essentially I used Ferris to get 4 CP less on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's brilliant.
Yeah, this is a really good card, I think. And it's in a rare
Yeah.
slot, which is hilarious.
But the thing is, a lot of the really powerful Warriors of Light that came out of this set have been in the rare slot, like, or even in the
Yes.
common slot in the case of Soul. So much power has come to what the Warrior of Light, and there's so many things that tie the deck together now. It's just like, how are you? You've got so many ways to potentially build this deck that you don't need to look in one spot anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I think
Brilliant.
they mainly did that for limited or drafting as well.
Yeah. Like, considering the deck's only like one or two legends that are like staple and the rest has been like common, rare, hero, or promo, very easy deck to build as well if you're playing on a budget for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The incredible thing as well is that it doesn't restrict you on element that you play. So, as you were mentioning before, you can play the off-color Warriors of Light, and suddenly you don't need to pay the cost for them. You can just slam them with Dusk.
Yeah.
You know, Arc, Ingus, those have got new life breathing in them.
Yeah.
Right, moving on from a good card. Paladin, 4-cost water forward, 8k. If Paladin forms a party, the damage dealt to Paladin becomes 0 instead.
Okay, let's kick this card out of this set and send it back to Opus 1 where it belongs.
Yeah,
Next.
we have better effects like this, I think, just as a whole, and actually for cheaper, I think.
Yeah. I hope that damage becomes 0 isn't the new norm, because then it's going to become really confusing with Brass's Final Aeon.
Yeah. Though, you just attack...
Not really. It just...
Yeah,
like,
just
the
attack
damage
during your
becomes
turn.
0. It's a reduction. Yeah.
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 Or you just attack during your turn and kill it. You don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So...
Beatrix. 2-cost water forward, 5k. When Beatrix or Job Knight enters your field, all the forwards you control gain +2 power until end of turn. It has a 0 generic ability. During this turn, the cost required to cast your next Job Knight forward is reduced by 2. It cannot become 0. You can only use this ability during your turn and once per turn. How is Knights doing as a type, archetype?
It's so close. Like this is one of the cards that could potentially pull it together. Same with another card or two that we're going to mention later, but it is so close.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Knights love this set. But my worry is, did they do it and set it up for limited, or have they made it viable for constructed?
With Beatrix, it feels like it's so close. The biggest problem that Knights have as an archetype is that they're spread across 4 elements.
Yeah.
But, and it actually is a 4-element spread now that we've got the Water Fire Knights that we're going to mention later on.
Yeah, and I was going to say that they also made a lot of Knights hybrids, which made that spread a lot more prominent instead of better.
Yeah. It made things so much worse. But in saying that, though, Knights are very close. If they can get like a established game plan, a properly established game plan in 2 elements, and those 2 elements can work well together, then it'll finally be over the line. But with this Beatrix, it's so close.
I think this is a good bit. Like this is. It's also exponential gain. Like, you save 2 crystal points every turn, including the turn you play it. Yeah. You can almost count it as a free card.
If you can combine this with the Steiner that's in this set, it's actually pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
But again, it's just so close, but so far away. It doesn't help that this is a 2-cost 5k forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think it's pretty
small.
Nuts.
It's got amazing abilities for what it can do. Amazing abilities on a small forward kind of puts a little bit of a blemish on the fact that it's a small forward. It's saying that, though, reducing the cost of the next Knight you play by 2 pays this card off.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's basically a free card.
And, like, here's my view on it. It's a case of this is better in Cat 9 than it is in Knights because you just cost reduce the Steiner and search out whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is incredible.
And also, when you're talking about 2 cost 5 at 5Ks with good effect, we've kind of said the same thing about Edge and kind of just made it playable. So I don't think Beatrix is anywhere near as good as Edge at all, but it's certainly one to watch.
Yeah.
Edge
also
has
love
got
the art.
removal attached. Edge has got removal attached to itself, which is why that card is so powerful.
That's
Beatrix, while it also has the cost reduction and the inherent power boosts aren't the same as removal.
Yeah.
that's the big.
Also, just good art. I love the art on this.
Yeah, very.
Most expensive full art that's not a legacy card.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's
Last I
surprising
checked,
for a heroic slot.
yeah. Like last checked, it was clocking in at $100 on Cards of Ivalice.
Okay.
Weird that it costs more than Ash, but I don't know.
Yeah, but well, prices always fluctuate during the first few weeks.
Yeah.
Minwoo! 2 cost water backup with a dull ability. 2 water, 2 generic dull Minwoo. Put Minwoo into the break zone. Cast 1 summon of cost 7 or less from your hand without paying its cost.
Next.
Dawn, next.
Yeah. Ah, Yuna. The question is, do we need more Gullwings?
The better question is, do we need more Unas?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is, I want to say, the 5th Legend Rarity Una that we've gotten.
At least it's better than Lightning, where we got like 7 Legends over in about 2 sets.
And all of them unplayable.
No, like, I kid you not, Una's worse than Lightning is.
It's not,
like,
I don't know.
We can't help it. Like, after Zidane being nothing but gold every time.
Yeah, like. But I digress.
3 cost water forward, 7k. When Una enters the field, if a forward you controlled formed a party this turn, draw 2 cards. When Una forms a party and attacks, choose 1 forward. It loses 4k power for each attacking forward until the end of the turn. 0 cost. Name one element other than light or dark. Una becomes the named element until end of turn. You can only use this ability once per turn. So this is less Una / Gullwing combo and more partying combo.
Yeah. This is the payoff for party decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a -1 cost 7k forward that when it parties with things, it goes all Cloud of Darkness on everyone and just eats things.
Yeah.
In the colors that has Cloud of Darkness in it.
Exactly. So you can just play them together.
It's just nothing.
Yeah. So in my head, I just ignore the Una, ignore the Gullwing. This is just a good card for that kind of water combo and stuff, and for partying tricks. Like,
the only real problem with the card is that it's card name Una, and it's in water.
Yeah.
So if you're playing water, now you've got to decide: are you playing this Una, or are you playing the 2-drop Una that makes your water summons cost 1 less?
Well, that's why I would say probably this would just slot straight into the party one and ignore that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like more generic mono water wants backup Unas more than this one, but the party attacking one, very good. And like, this is the example of you don't judge a card when it's first spoiled, you wait for the entire set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, this set has been very much party support.
That's what's pushed this Una over the line for me, I think.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful card. Yeah.
Yeah. Realm. 4 cost water forward, 5k, EX burst. When Realm enters the field, choose 1 character that is a legendary, essentially, so non-multi, other than Realm. You may search for 1 character with the same name and add it to your hand.
So this enables every single special on the planet.
Yeah.
Yep. I just read it as activate target S ability.
Yes. Or if you know something's about to die, cool, I'll grab another one before you kill it.
Yeah. And it's also an EX burst for some reason. Like,
yeah.
So search for 1 card name Allure and add it to your hand.
Yeah. Yep. So plenty of tech use for this card in the right deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the fact that it's EX burst as well just puts another
Yeah, that makes up for the 4 cost 5k.
Yeah.
In saying that as well, it is a Cat 6 forward that you would never run in a Cat 6 deck.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah. Because,
It's the same as the Light Lock that was printed a few sets ago. It's a Cat
Yeah,
6 card that would never see play in a Cat 6 deck.
which is even worse because that lock was meant for Cat 6.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Also, just as someone who's not very familiar with the games, Pictomancer. I love that.
Yeah.
All artists should be called
Sure.
Pictomancers from now on.
Draw things for benefit.
Luna Freya. 2-cost water forward. 5k. Dull 1 active category 15 forward. Luna Freya gets plus 2k power until end of turn. Dull 4 category 15 forwards. Choose 1 forward, put it into the break zone. Is there many 15 cads in water?
No, just Luna Freya.
Just Luna Freya.
However, there's more than enough Cat 15 forwards in either Earth or Lightning that you could pair the Luna Freya into it.
Yes.
On top of that as well, Luna Freya pumps herself.
Yeah.
So it's in essence a 7k blocker at almost all times.
Yeah. Also, considering one of those colors that is 15 is Earth, which has the 2 hybrid backups.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because you play this in Earth Lightning 15 because you have Selkie to dig for it, and you have class 6, I believe, is the Lightning Moogle that taps for water. You can run that to play it, so...
You're probably most likely running Shantotto and or Tyro in that deck.
You're playing Earth cards, you're absolutely running Tyro.
Yeah, you're 100% running Tyro.
Yeah, so it fits well as a splash for 15 then.
Yeah, 100%. Wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to make it work.
Yeah, I can see it being very feasible. Remora. 6-cost water summon EX burst. Choose 1 forward, draw 1 card, then until the end of turn it loses 2k power for each card in your hand. I like it as an EX burst, but I don't know how I feel for the 6-cost.
So read it as a 5-cost and then reread the card.
Oh, yeah, 4-cost.
Like, essentially 3-cost killer guy.
Like, this basically, if you remember the Kuchulin from the old, from a couple of sets ago.
Yeah,
It's not Opus 2. I think it's like Opus 9 or something.
Oh, Opus 9?
Full art. Yeah.
Yeah, Opus 9.
Yeah. It's basically that, only doubled.
Yeah.
Alright.
In saying that, though, I wouldn't go out of my way to run Remora in a deck.
That's,
No. I think the only benefit this has over Cuckoo Lane is that you draw the card immediately. You don't have to rely on the forward dying.
But in saying that, if I'm running this, if I want this type of effect, then I'll just run the Opus 8 Legends of Dane and special that.
That too. Solution 9 is a heck of a thing.
Yeah, I love Solution 9. But yeah, I guess, and especially if you have Yuna out, this costs 1 less on top of all that.
Yeah. So it's 3-cost killer guy.
Yeah.
It's a maybe, but I don't know.
Because it also depends if you have a full hand or not as well. If you're low on cards on hand, that one may not be within kill range.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a tough order, and at 6-cost as well. If you don't have Yuna in play, you're already losing 2 cards.
Yeah.
So it's not likely that you're going to kill many big significant things.
It's good value on a hard investment.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't sold on its cost. We're into the light and dark cards. There is only one of each in this set. So we have Lena, 3-cost light forward, 8k. When Lena enters the field, place 1 Arise counter on Lena for each backup you control, and you get to put 1 on her every time you play a backup following. Dull Lena, remove X counters from Lena, choose 1 forward in your break zone. If it costs X, play it onto the field. A note on that, it doesn't say remove all counters. You can choose to say remove 3 out of 4 for a 3-cost and keep 1 on her. So you actually have a lot of versatility with that.
Not just that as well. This is the first light forward that is above generic curve.
Yeah.
At 3-cost 8k. That's the first light forward that's ever gotten that treatment. So
and even though dark is the more powerful, even dark is a more powerful color, we have a universal recursion card now.
Yes.
And it's also a warrior of light.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Lena does require the haste to help it out, but on the same token, this is just such a fire magnet. If you want something, if you've got something that's powerful that's in play and you want to protect it, play Lena. Like,
Yeah.
because Lena is just going to eat every single piece of removal until Lena goes away. Because
Yes.
the ability to just bring something back, and not even just during your turn, during your opponent's turn as well.
Yeah, it's
Just
not
the
during your
ability
turn.
just the ability to bring something back active during your opponent's turn at any time, it scares the hell out of so many people that they just
Yes.
I like that forward has to go away.
Yeah, even when you don't have good value on it, they panic.
Yeah.
We also just happened to get a searcher in fire for light forward
Yep.
that can break itself and make room for more backups for her to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
So great synergy with the type. Really amazing card.
Yeah.
Miss Dragon. Miss Dragon.
Yeah. It's also searchable by Hildra. That's a big deal.
That's another big deal as well,
Yeah,
yeah.
but here's the thing. Even if you miss Dragon, Lena is still on the field. All you've done is stopped counters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she's still on the field to do it again down the road.
Keep the
What's even worse about that as well is that, yes, you've missed Dragon their break zone and you've taken all their counters away. You've still got an AK forward on the play.
Yeah.
In play.
And if you've done it at their second main phase, then it untaps during your turn and you're like, I'll attack now.
Yeah.
I'll hit you in the face with an AK forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, even though Miss Dragon will stop whatever it's grabbing, you don't stop. You're only stopping the symptom, not the cause.
Yep.
So I'm glad Light has Amaterasu.
Yeah. At least this trades evenly with Amaterasu, though.
Yeah. But you're still trading 5 for 3, so I think you're okay with that.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh
big
no,
deal.
Amaterasu, the ETB effect on Lena.
Like, not saying wrong. It's not broken, and it does have, you have ways of stopping it and dealing with it, but it's still like a positive situation on the other end, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just happy Light has a little bit of love this time around.
Yeah, wait till the next card.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay, I'm going to go through this slowly for any new players who are going to be watching this. 6 cost, Dark Forward, 10k, Neo X-Death, or Ned for short. Ned is also a card X-Death, so you can't have X-Death and Neo X-Death on the field at the same time. At the end of each of your opponent's turns, your opponent selects one character, so any permanent essentially, they control, put it into the break zone. So at the end of your opponent's turn, every turn Ned is out, they have to sacrifice something. When Ned is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, your opponent selects one character they control, put it into the break zone. So if you target it or choose it with something, or your opponent does, they also have to sacrifice something, or if you're doing it against their one, you'll have to sacrifice something. So you do it at the end of turn and every time it's targeted, and it's 10k.
And how many
Veritas,
turn 1 Neo X-Death memes are we going to see into the chat?
Yeah.
Probably all of them. I don't know.
So this card, I don't need to speak for the card. The card speaks for itself, and everybody else already knows what this card is capable of. But
Veritas, you were fun while you lasted.
Well, it's actually interesting because Veritas is probably the best answer to this card.
Yep.
And I was actually telling someone I think Veritas does still see a bit of potential, because Veritas will kill their forwards then and there. So if you're going in for a final swing, Veritas will beat Ned every time.
It's actually kind of funny because turn 1 Veritas is the perfect answer to turn 1 Neo X-Death.
Yeah.
Yep.
During pre-release, me and Ryan had a fun 2 turn 1 Neo X deaths, didn't we?
Yep.
When we were playing that, I wanted to look up the meme of Ned Flanders talking to Canadian Ned Flanders, the diddly 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 diddly, and just play that.
William Shadowrat. No.
Better than
Uh,
Veritas, but I think Veritas has a versatility that'll make it still see work. It depends on your deck.
it's saying that as well. Veritas and Neo X-Step are that you can't compare the two cards.
Yeah,
They
no,
are for completely different. They are completely different effects in completely different situations.
Yes, that's why I was saying they have a versatility difference that makes it not just straight Neo X Death.
And when it comes to Neo Access, right? I don't think anything we say is going to change anyone's mind. To them, it's either the biggest, scariest boogeyman of them all, or completely unplayable. Like, don't think I've seen any sort of skew from the extremes.
I'll be honest. The
But
worst thing that I think of about this card is the fact that it costs 6.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
Star Symbol the thing into play.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the dumbest thing about this card. It's not the fact that your opponent has to keep sacking things if they want to try and do anything about Neo Except. It's the fact that it's a 10k with upside that you can play for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just why.
Yeah, and
Yep.
to be honest, if you're running that deck, you've probably got Neo and Ned and Veritas.
And Star Sybil, search Camelot, search Ned.
That being
Yeah.
said, it does trade with Braska.
Kind of.
Unless you play a backup, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Regardless.
Though
it's just
I'm glad that it is dark, so any deck can utilize it instead of just one deck.
The problem is it's dark, so any deck can use it.
Yeah,
Can use it.
ups and downs. You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. We'll see what people do with it.
Yeah, we have to see its extent because, like I said, it is. I feel on print it is very powerful, but I feel there are tech issues you'd rather have something else in its place sometimes. It's not just something you always want in your hand every time.
A lot of people I've been talking to is basically saying it's a fight between this and Kadaj as to which white dark card you put into every single deck. And it's a very close fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Just
think
throw
I'd still
throw it
rather
out the
dodge.
window equals insta win. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I still prefer Kadaj just because it's a 4 cost.
Yeah.
Like, Kadaj having EX burst really helps his cause as
and
well.
EX
But
burst, and having all sorts of stuff being impossible to deal with.
I'll tell you what, though, the absolute worst part about this card, the job.
None.
It has none. It has
I think
no
it would have
job.
been dumb if they gave it something that could be tutored, though.
Poor boy's unemployed.
Yeah, poor
That's probably
boy.
why he's so angry at everyone. It's just
He's
trying to break
beyond a
everybody's
job.
stuff.
He's too good for all of it. He's a uni student who refuses to get a job under his pay grade.
Or alternatively, he stole so many jobs from Bart that it just underflowed and he lost them.
Bart's took confirmed canon. Bart's took all of Ned's jobs.
Done. Yeah, easy.
That's what happened with Opus 3 XF. He
Oh my
just
God.
stole he made everybody lose their jobs, and now Neo XF is peeved at it.
He lost his job as a result.
Yeah, he's peeved.
Yeah.
We should write for FF.
Yes, we should.
No, we shouldn't.
I don't know. I mean, FF right now is, from my opinion, has become Edgelord Simulator Part 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, so forth. Which I don't mind if that's your thing, but
Yeah, well, you know.
like every new
That's
poster
good.
of every new game I have seen is just Edgelord Part 4, Edgelord Part 5. Even COVID hit him hard.
Oh, no.
So, no. That theory will be true if he gets banned the day a vaccine is made.
Oh.
If he gets banned the day a vaccine is made, licking nipples for justice, you're 100% correct. Poor Exodeth, even COVID hit him hard.
Yep.
Oh,
Alright,
But
shall
yeah,
we
there's
continue?
pandemics. Shall we move on?
We're starting with the first hybrid card of the set, guys. We are now into the new elements.
Yeah.
This is going to be so weird for me to read, but I'll try. Vayne. 3 cost fire, ice, forward, 8k. If you control 4 or more fire characters, Vayne gets +2 power. If you control 4 or more ice characters, Vayne gets when Vayne attacks, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. I feel this has a place somewhere, I'm just not sure.
It's actually not that bad in Fire Ice, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because think of it this way, right? In that deck, like you're probably running the Celteus as well, which is the next card we'll talk about. If you're running that Vayne, you're basically playing a 3-drop 10k that discards on attack. It's not even on damage, it's on attack.
Yes.
And that's the key.
Yeah, I love this card during pre-release. I forced an Ice Splash because I had a few of them and a few other Fire Ice in my Ice Water deck. They were very helpful, especially because other hybrids count for both those abilities.
Exactly. So here's the thing. This Vayne is what Gunbreaker wishes it could be.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's category 7, isn't it? Not. That's
12.
XII 12, yeah.
Vayne's Cat 12.
Note for everyone, I'm looking at this on a smaller screen than everyone else because I'm trying to keep an eye on the OBS stuff because I'm paranoid as hell.
So, like...
We just had a comment in the chat. X-Death is like Trump, hard to remove.
We now need a meme of Secret Service agents dragging X-Death out of the White House.
More like...
Alright.
Sorry for anyone who doesn't want political charge, but...
Let's not get too political
we'll
in this Final Fantasy TCG stream, guys.
Let America celebrate in their own.
Yeah.
Alright.
Celteus. 4-cost Fire Ice forward, 7k. When Celteus enters the field, remove up to 5 Fire forwards and or Ice forwards in your break zone from the game. Then reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Play 1 forward of cost equal to or less than the number of removed cards among them onto the field, and return the other cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. For a game that doesn't have much graveyard recursion in the... Well, I'd say 1 color, because Fire does have graveyard recursion. That's actually really good.
Initially, when I first saw this card, I was actually relatively high on it because it's basically saying I'm going to play 9 CP worth of cards for 4.
Yeah.
Then I was not so high on it because I remembered Amaterasu existed.
Yeah, but we can't keep using that as an excuse.
Then I played against it earlier today, and I'm a bit higher on it again. It's just... it's the value of paying 4 CP for 2 forwards.
It's Delve. It's essentially Delve, and as long as you have enough stuff in your bin that you get rid of either only the backups or only the stuff you know you're never going to get back, you're good.
Specifically says you have to eat forwards. She
gets Alisei, and then you play Alphanod for free, getting another card. Yeah, that's valid, Sean. Freaky.
Yeah.
It's what he did in pre-release.
Yeah. I like this card. You know, you have to be smart. You have to know your deck. You have to know what's in your bin. But that's kind of something you have to do anyways.
It feels kind of similar to Shadow from the previous set, in that it's kind of high rolly, but if it works very well.
Yeah, and Shadow was, to be honest, I've seen amazing stuff off Shadow, even when he misses.
Yeah.
So I definitely like this card. It makes me want to build an alternate Fire Ice. As you said, this set Fire and Ice has been taking a different turn, which I kind of like, so I want to experiment with that a bit.
Yeah, and Celsius, I feel like it's a card that everyone forgot about because it was spoiled so early. So
yeah,
don't sleep on him. He's going to surprise you.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I really give this card a lot of credit.
It's not a card to be slept on.
Yeah, no, definitely not. A legend, though, so good luck getting 3 of them if you're playing it.
Yep.
Leon.
This card is something you can sleep on.
Yes.
Yes.
2-cost Fire Ice forward 7k. When Leon enters the field, choose one of the 2 following actions. Choose 1 forward, dull it, or freeze it. Choose 1 forward, deal it 3k damage. At best, it's a bad Kate Sith for Fire Ice, but it's a bad Kate Sith.
It's not something you...
Well, it doesn't even have EX burst, so it's, significantly a bad Kate Sith.
Yeah. The problem with all of these cards is that they're 2-drops. That makes them really hard to play efficiently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have to have the backups down already.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem lies with the 2-cost ones. In saying that, a couple of two cost common forwards are absolutely cooked.
Yeah, like 100.
This is limited. I would
It's-
nutshell that this is a limited card because in limited I feel it's really good.
Oh,
In limited, yes.
Yeah,
Busted.
this is something to look for in draft or sealed, but then never pay attention to again unless we get something that can sort of balance out its downfall, its shortages. Next, we're moving on to our next hybrid set. Barrel Eye, 3-cost Ice Wind. I actually like this card. Forward 7k. When one or more dull backups you control is activated due to your summons or abilities, deal 3k damage to all forwards opponent controls. When your opponent discards one or more cards from their hand due to your summon or abilities, choose one character, dull it, and freeze it.
Geeto.
I would love this card
The
if it
Geeto
had
name
just
lives.
one of those two effects.
Yeah, boy.
Now,
Pandemonium with Barrel Eye.
Aside,
Yep.
now, Barrel Eye Geeto means aside, this card is actually very solid by itself.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, without.
Like, the ice effects play into the ice effects, the wind effects play into the wind effects. This card is almost always going to get its value back.
Yeah, as I said,
Yeah.
I would have loved this card if it only had one of those two effects, and either of them as well.
Like, I feel they would have made this card wind water, and that's scared.
I don't think they would have had the same secondary effect if it was water.
Yeah, like it
though.
wouldn't have the same secondary effect, obviously, but like they would have given it like wind water and had the first ability, and congratulations, YRP, back in business.
Well, the second thing would have been when one or more of your opponent's forwards gets bounced, you draw a card.
And that
Yeah.
might have made bounce a bit more prevalent. That would have probably been interesting to see.
Oh
In
yeah,
saying that, though, like this Barrel Eye is actually a very solid card. I still I don't know what the home is for this card yet, but when it does find a home, it is going to be among the stronger cards in that
Well,
deck.
I'd assume Wind Untap would be the first place to test it. It's just how that works with Ice will be the big question.
Well, that's where the Icewind Storm deck comes into play.
Yeah. I don't know if
But,
I'd run this in Storm, but...
Exactly, you wouldn't run. That's where it sort of gets weird.
Yeah.
Like whether or not you run it in Storm.
yeah, and like running this in YRP, you have to jump through a few hoops in order to get there because this
Yes.
thing plays really well with like Pandemonium, Veilford, Diablos.
But unfortunately, you're splashing Ice in a Water Wind deck.
Yeah,
Which ain't necessarily that bad if you're playing Dusk.
No,
Yeah,
but
but,
well, that's the thing. That's why
Dusk-
Dusk is so good. It makes more viability for cards like this.
Yeah.
But outside
Yeah.
of that, it's very difficult.
yeah, but like Dust, Strago, even Vaughn, like Starter Vaughn.
Yeah.
Just
So,
Yeah,
good,
Starterban could play this thing.
yeah. The
So-
good thing is because it is half wind, half ice. It is both, which means all activate wind only cards will work on it. That's just more of a rule thing for
Yes.
any new players watching who are trying to get their head around the hybrid ability.
Well, it's not just that
Yes.
as well. If you have a good think about it, you've actually got Clavat, which is a
Yeah.
card which can flip till fire or ice.
Yeah.
It hits this Barrel Eye.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can build a deck with Barrel Eye in it that don't necessarily involve going into both ice and wind.
Yes. Back to the first thing. Either one of those abilities on its own is amazing.
Yeah.
The only reason you need to run both is to cast it, but if you can get around that, then yeah, you can run it in one of the monos.
Okay.
But
What
a
have we
solid
got next?
card in rare, yeah.
don't run Geeto.
Yeah. Just don't play him at all.
We got to get it out there.
Riku, 2-cost Ice Wind, forward, 6k. When Riku enters the field, select one of the two following, choose one character, dull it, choose two characters, activate them. I did a lot of dumb shit with this in Limited, but I think you can do the same amount for about the same cost in general, right?
So this card does go into the Storm deck because it's a 0-cost 6k.
Yes.
True. Actually, yeah, Storm.
Yes.
I forgot about this for
Yeah.
Storm. That's my bad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this card absolutely does go into the Storm deck because it's a 0-cost 6k. It's easily searchable with an EX with Shinra because it's Gull Wings.
Yeah,
And
It's
and brother because it's Cat 10.
I wouldn't even run Brother, to be honest, unless you were specifically trying to go find Barrel Eye as well.
Yeah,
You'd run the Shinra because Shinra finds Riku as a burst, and it's easy.
yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah,
yeah, so free 6 cost that ups your storm count to 1 or by 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you could play this Riku in that sort of deck, and as a 0 cost 6K, it's still it's a forward. It can attack, it can block, it can deal damage to your opponent,
yeah,
and
And
it
a
can do
reason-
all of that for nothing.
Yeah.
and it can also just surprise win you the game by dolling something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm turned around. I completely forgot about this in Storm. That was...
Yeah.
Oh,
this
he's the big boy. He's the one we've all been looking for.
Here's the payoff.
Looking forward to. Lock.
It's your store payoff.
Yeah. Lock. 8 cost, ice, wind, forward 9k. The cost required to cast Lock is reduced by 2 for each card you have cast this turn. It cannot become 1 or less. When Lock enters the field, select up to 2 of the 4 following actions. The first one, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. The second one, choose up to 2 characters, dull and freeze them. The third, choose 1 forward of cost 6 or more, break it. The fourth, choose 1 monster, break it. Nothing but good stuff. And when you're playing 1 costs, you're paying a 1 cost to reduce him by 2 every time.
Why can this hit back up? My God.
Why? Like who thought this was who thought it was a great idea for this to dull and freeze characters?
Yeah,
Like
that's
seriously.
ridiculous.
Like going back to the argument with Morgan, who the hell thought that this card was a good idea?
At least it's not Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it goes straight into a deck that can reduce its cost very quickly and very easily.
Yep.
If you're playing this, if you're even playing this at 4, it's bonkers. If you're playing this at 6, it's on curve. If you're playing this card at 2,
win the game then and there.
You just like your opponent isn't even playing the game anymore. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna dull freeze 2 of your backups and you discard a card. You've sent your opponent back, I want to say 4 turns, and you have a 9k in play.
Yeah, like on average, this thing's going to be a 4 cost. It's insane as a 4 cost.
Yeah, and with Renault is scary. Yeah, I think with almost anything, this is scary.
Like anything that flickers this card is just going to end the damn game. It's just like, why?
And it's
why
in wind.
did they make this card a thing?
And it's in wind, the untapped backup color or crystal.
Yeah,
and Castalian Empire Sid and sets are a thing, so you can just search and recur it if you want to.
Yep.
It's just one of those cards, and they're just like, who thought of this?
Setsa or Sid?
This Lock.
No. Ryan and Setsa.
Yeah, Castalian Empire Sid and Setsa. Like Castalian Empire Sid can search this, and Setsa can recur it if you somehow die.
Yeah. EX Burst recur it, even worse.
Yep.
Yeah. Like this is the ultimate payoff for the Storm deck, and I think this Lock is the reason why people want to build the Storm deck in the first place. Is just try and get this card down to 2 cost to just end the opponent's day.
Well, I chucked it into the 1 backup deck, the Sid one, and I was able to play him 4 and 6 most games.
Yeah. Would not surprise me.
Like, I'm not even doing the Storm Shell, and I'm still getting good value off him. Like Ryan can attest to that, even though he only watched it, not experienced it.
I didn't see you do it against me, but yeah.
So just as a card, this is amazing, and it has an archetype that makes it even worse. And it's an archetype this set is pushing on top of all that.
Yeah.
It's built on a stick.
Yeah.
And I pulled none of him out of all of my box.
No,
that's depressing.
I think out of the pre-release in my box, I got 3.
Yeah.
I in the box I pulled earlier today, I got 1 Lock, and I've got 2 boxes coming. So hopefully, I get my play set.
Good luck.
Yeah, we'll get them next time.
Yeah.
Look, everyone gets that one mythic or legendary that they never see.
have two of those.
Or it's always the one that they need to see the most.
Mine
of.
is Veritas and Ash. And I think Arden, the legendary one, the breaker backup to make him unable to block. A breaker character one. I never opened any of those. I had to trade for all of them.
Yeah, but that item sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good one, sometimes it's a bad one.
Shall we move on?
Yep.
Yes.
Iris. 4 cost Wind Earth. Forward 8k. When Iris enters the field, choose up to 2 Wind backups you control, and up to 2 Earth backups you control. Activate them. So does she have to have 4?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so a free
She's
free cost
zero cost
for
8k.
yeah.
Zero cost.
It has a charm ability that is an activated, not an ETB. Pay 1 Wind, 1 Earth, select one of the 2 following actions. Iris gets 2k power until end of turn, or Iris gains... It cannot be blocked by forwards of power 9 or more until end of turn. Wow.
I personally love this card because it's one of the only cards in the set that is truly multicolor.
Yeah. And repeatable charm is amazing, especially when you're paying 0 for her.
Yeah. Like, it's a case of cool. Like, this thing's really good.
Yeah.
For reason.
And the fact that if you
King
untap
or-
if you untap 4 backups, you can use both her abilities if they're one of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen or built a deck with this Iris in it yet, but it looks very promising. Being a 0 cost forward, you already like it. The abilities, even just the evasion ability by itself, it means this card is never trading with anything. It is never trading.
Also, even though it's a 15 card, which making it wind is really bad, it doesn't use any 15 stuff, so the downside isn't even a downside.
Just that as well. You don't even care that it's a wind card that's 15, because the other half of the card is Earth, which is one of the 15 elements anyway.
Yeah, but you don't want to splash wind in a 15 for it. You just play it in any Earth wind without caring about the 15 side.
You have Tyro, but whatever.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Access to Tyro and Shintoto, which, by the way, you can untap Shintoto as one of your wind backups.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
big deal.
This thing just has, it either works in the 15 or without them. It's just good.
And hot take, this card makes me want to do Tricolor Storm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It would be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, like Earth gives you a lot of options.
Well, Earth gives you access to Leo as well, which means that all your backups tap for every element.
You get King Leo to color fix, you get Iris to be a free forward, you get the next cards.
You get the next part of this deck that I'm going to build later.
Yep.
And this is a rare as well, damn.
Iris is super good.
Yeah. I only just read her properly.
Yeah, if you guys can build a deck with it, I'll be quite interested, because I haven't quite figured out a deck for Iris yet, but it may even be the Tricolor Storm deck.
Yeah.
Alright. Prish, 2 cost Wind Earth, forward 7k. When Prish enters the field, select one of the 2 following actions. Choose one forward until end of turn, it gets plus 1k in Brave. Choose one monster of cost 3 or less, break it.
This is literally just range up but better.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is just tech the card.
Yeah.
Cheap, strong, has 2 relatively good abilities depending on what you need them for.
It's got the right category for the. It's got the right category for the Oops Good Stuff deck.
Yeah, it's
also a Prish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to play a Horde of Prish, there's another Prish for you.
Yeah.
Certainly works.
No, just a solid toolbox card, I think. That has a few slots in multiple decks.
Yeah. Shame that it's 2 drop, though.
Would you rather it be more?
I mean, again, it's the whole playing.
Alright.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. It's Y'shtola, the card that nearly broke my Ned. What's the point of having a Ned out when you're just swinging with unblockable, right?
Go under it.
3 cost Wind Earth, forward 9k? Yes, 3 cost 9k, you heard me right. At this point, Licking, I think all of them are your waifus from what you've been saying. On top of being a 3 cost 9k, it has haste. If your Stoller is dealt damage less than her power, the damage becomes 0 instead. Your Stoller cannot be blocked by forwards of cost 4 or more. Yes, it's just indiscriminate aggro that almost cannot be killed.
This is a wind card. It's a wind card that it has big stats, so that makes it Earth.
Yep.
See, I feel like this card is actually the police of the game, right?
Yes.
This is a generic forward, right? This is as generic as you could possibly get that you would be happy to see played in a deck. It has no active abilities. It has no ETBs. It has no like auto effects of anything that triggers. It is just a generic card that says, "I'm going to beat your face in," and there's nothing you can do about it. So I feel like this Stoller is going to police this coming format, and it's going to police it very well, because you're going to have to try and find an answer to this card, and it's not going to be easy because you can't damage it.
Yep.
The 3 cost means that it could be like there's a lot of things that can break it, but like then you've always spent more CP to break the thing than it's worth. So
like your opponent's basically got a 2-for on themselves in order to kill this.
it's not just that as well. It's a 3 cost character, so that means Starter Shintoto can get it back from the break zone whenever it wants.
Yeah.
So you could go, here's my 9k that got back my 9k that's now beating your face in.
Hmm.
Oh, and all of that cost me was 1 backup.
Yep. So
This card is the police of the format.
Yeah, and anything that can possibly block and kill it can't block it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was really harsh. It's just basically you get it out and just keep swinging because it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, opens up the door for Earthwind aggro. I love it.
Yeah. Speaking of Shantotto, 2 cost Earth Lightning Shantotto, forward 7k. When Shantotto enters the field, select one of the 2 following actions. Choose one forward other than Shantotto, it gains haste until end of turn. Choose one backup you control, it gains this forward, cannot be broken until end of the turn. Backup Shantotto just makes this hard.
This is another Shantotto that goes into a different deck again from all of the other Shantotos. Yeah. I feel like that this Shantotto is the best Phoenix target in the game.
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt, because
it just goes, it basically just goes, I'm going to bring back myself, and I'm going to forever trade with 9Ks this turn.
Yeah. And it's a case of, like, cool. And given my experiences in Limited, this thing plus Fenrir is already a blowout.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Like,
what's that? I thought Phoenix, they enter tap, don't they?
No,
Phoenix,
two-drop Phoenix, they enter active.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sorry, go on.
So this card only it doesn't go in the decks that want the backup Shantotto that eats everything, because those decks are generally more controlling. It doesn't go in the ramp pair deck because they've already got the starter Shantotto, which is just an absolute blowout whenever you play it. This deck goes in a more aggressive build that runs Phoenix, and whenever that deck wants to have a forever blocker, it'll just Phoenix back Toto. If that deck ever wants to push aggression, it will play that Toto and just give something else that just played haste. This is Sid Previa on cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the hybrid cards have been really solid so far.
Or you wanna kill my forward? Cool, Phoenix Shantotto, it's unbreakable for the turn.
Yeah. Or if there's ways to flush it in with Earth, there's plenty of ways to.
Fenrir is one that came in this set.
Yeah, we also have the backup.
Yeah, the White Mage, if you want to do that way.
Yeah. So,
the cards.
Yeah, instant speed protection spell is, pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
This is Titan with legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, next up, Noctis. Speaking of edgelords. 3-cost Earth Lightning, forward 7k. When Noctis enters the field, choose one category 15 forward other than card name Noctis in your break zone. Add it to your hand. When Noctis forms a party and attacks until end of turn, all forwards you control get plus 2k power and haste.
I've been playing this card quite a bit. It's dumb. It's very dumb. It's a 1-cost 7k that if you happen to, say, for example, rampair a bunch of forwards out for a turn, you can go, oh, I'm just going to give my entire field haste. I win the game now after killing 4 forwards. This basically says you no longer need to pause your rampair game plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's silly. It's absolutely silly. And it's even in the right category for the deck.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, that was my big thing. When this card first got spoiled, I'm like, I love everything about you. I hate that you're a Noctis. And I remembered that Opus 7 not playable anymore. My stock in this card just went all the way up.
Yeah, he's already found a home right off the bat in the 15 deck, and then everything else is just pure bonus.
Yeah, he's got 2 homes. He's got the home in the 15 deck, which was already going to become pretty bonkers in the set, and he's got a home in Rampart. I'm only running him as a singleton in Rampart, but you only need the one.
Yeah. The one off in Rampart, he's perfectly serves.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Like this,
he gets back your Libertus, to get back your Nyx, to go do Nyx things. It's just like it's filth.
Yeah.
It can also get back. It can also get back Vershdale if you're splashing ice for some reason.
Also, I love the art on this. I will say that as well. It matches the hybrid. It looks good with the hybrid.
The hybrid Earth and Lightning. Plus, the full art of this card is gorgeous.
Oh, I would assume so. I would just assume that.
I pulled the full art of this. It looks great.
Oh.
Beautiful, beautiful card.
Hey, speaking of 15, it's Young Daddy.
Oh boy.
Regus. 5-cost Earth Lightning, forward 8k. When Regus enters the field, choose up to 2 forwards other than the card Regus, light or dark, put into your break zone from the field during this turn. Play them onto the field. It has a special, Royal Sigil, S, 1 lightning, 1 earth. All the forwards you control gain this forward cannot be broken until end of the turn. This is the card that launched an infinite combo.
Yes.
So which one of you two would like to explain it to our audience?
Shall I?
It's all yours, Ryan. I'm using Regis in Rampart, so I've got different stories for it.
Yeah, understandable. So this Regis, right? It's a combo involving it, the Thief from Opus 4, i.e. when it leaves the field, your opponent mills a card, and 2 copies of Renoa that have died in the same turn, using like Magic Pot or Kefka from Opus 4 or any of that stuff. So what you do is, after you've killed your 2 Renoas, you play this Regis. He will target both Renoas in the break zone, play them, they'll immediately die because you control more than 1 Renoa, and then you still get their enter effect, see? So one of them's going to target the Regis, and the other one's going to target the Thief. The Thief blinks itself out, your opponent mills a card, blink the Regis out, you revive the 2 Renoas, and you loop your opponent's entire deck into the break zone. And then you pass the turn and they die.
That's a bit disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah. It can also be done with Lani, because that way your opponent can't interact with the break zone, but then you have to play fire, and it gets a bit awkward, but the fact that it is doable is kind of scary.
Thank God for Miss Dragon.
No matter which way you go.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
But will it work is the big question.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. It's probably not going to work, but I'm going to try it.
Yeah, you got Earth. You got the element which can generate every other element anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You've got Tyro.
Yeah,
Tyro searches your entire combo.
Yeah, so my big thing with this Regis is, hi, I'm going to kill 4 of your forwards this turn, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Go
This
on.
pairs, so this pairs amazingly well with Gilgamesh, Kefka, and Nyx. It also pairs fantastically with Kane and Shintoto off of a ramp pair break. This card basically says, if you do not have Amaterasu, you do not have a field anymore.
So what are the pieces to it? Like, go slowly for people like our audience that might not be.
So it's really, really simple, right? You're playing a Rampair deck, which Rampair is a 2-cost backup, which says when it dies, you get to play a category 11 forward from your hand onto the field. Rampair is a deck that's designed to break that backup. So what you do is like you do your thing, you break the backup with one of the forwards, which kills something else. You play the Shintoto, which kills something again, or you get something you get a forward back. Let's say Noctis, so you get like a copy of Regis back into your break zone from break zone to hand, right? Then you sack those 3 to play Kefka, kill another forward, and then you crack a Star Sybil to play the Regis to get the Shintoto and Kane back. So you basically killed 4 or 5 things at the cost of 2 backups.
I am kind of scared and excited to see that.
The other end of the spectrum of that is you play Nyx, you sack Gilgamesh, you play Regis, get them both back. Nyx kills another thing, Gilgamesh stays in play.
Yeah.
It's so damn dumb. The things that this card can do for a Rampant deck. It's like I almost feel like this is the reason why Amaterasu was printed, because if it wasn't, I'm not even kidding. If Amaterasu was not printed and Regis was, every single top tier deck would be Rampant or 15.
Just or because would be running 3 copies of Y'shtola.
Yeah, but yeah, because you have then you have to cancel the auto ability. But the thing is, right? You're just like, how are you generating you're generating more value. How are you generating more value for less resources at any point in the game than with this card? It's
and I like it does take a bit of
unfair.
And I do like that it takes a bit of both skill and effort to get it off. It's not just a cheap, easy one like Layla Viking.
Yeah, and it's not just that as well. If they go to Amaterasu, you could still just say, I'm going to make all my stuff unbreakable for the turn. Yes, they've cancelled your ability to get 2 forwards back, but they've wasted an Amaterasu on the Regis.
It's one less they could be using on Kane or Toto or Randier or literally anything.
Exactly. So yes, you lose the ability to get your 2 forwards back, but you just don't care. Even if you don't get your 2 forwards back, you've probably killed 2 things with them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to see how that works out.
Like the internal, I've been playing the deck almost religiously since the set was spoiled and we got access to every card. It's so damn dumb how much value you generate with this Regis. It's
also another big thing about Regis. Job King, so he's searchable by Claris.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
There's multiple ways to get the Regis as well. Like the deck also, as I mentioned earlier, the deck is running 1 copy of Cindy. So Cindy searches Regis. Claris searches Regis as an EX burst.
So Regis, the true king, the card that launched 1,000 combos.
Yep. Cruising value.
Yep. Such a dumb card.
Urianga
anyway, let's move on before I keep gushing.
No, it's Urianga, 3-cost lightning water, forward 7k. When Urianga enters the field, you may play 1 monster of cost 2 or less from your hand onto the field. When you do so, choose 1 forward opponent controls, return it to its owner's hand. So this just seems like just straight out a monster deck. Otherwise, I don't know.
After all of the good stuff that's coming from the Earth Lightning side of the Lightning half, the Lightning Water side is just so disappointing.
Yeah. This just feels like an archetype pusher, and it's not a very good one that it's pushing.
Which is a shame because I love the ceiling that this card has. Because Urianger, Alcid, Urianger play like electric jellyfish, bounce one forward, pull the other, haste up, swing, blah, blah, blah. But it's just not good.
Yeah.
It's the worst part about it is that you're in essence paying 5 CP for a Leviathan. Yes, you're getting 2 permanents out of it, but who cares?
It's not great.
I do like that his phone case matches his clothing.
Yeah.
That helps.
That's my take on this card.
It's sort of just why.
It's like, oh, you want to run a monster deck? There's already a Urianger that does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does it way better.
Yep.
Alright, next card is Thancred. 7 cost Lightning Water. When Thagrid enters the field, choose one forward in your break zone. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of water forwards and or water backups you control, play it onto the field. When Thancred attacks, choose one forward opponent controls. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of lightning forwards and or lightning backups you control, break it. It is an 8k. I think I didn't say that originally, but this is a card that I thought was good before I realized you needed one of each color to cast.
So my friend earlier mentioned this because he's a big Final Fantasy 14 fan, and he's just like, "Why you do my boy dirty?"
Yeah, this was good when I first saw it. When I thought you could just pick mono ice, mono lightning, or mono water, but if you have to play both, it feels you're just spreading yourself in 2 colors in 2 directions so much that it just rips the card apart from by the seams.
Okay, so now here's where I was remember when we were talking about that ninja from before, right?
Yeah.
This is where the Thancred comes into play, okay? Because this is going to be an absolutely wild shot, and I do not recommend this deck unless you're like a brilliant player that knows the ins and outs of this deck,
A brilliant
like
scientist.
the back of your hand. Like I wouldn't recommend this deck unless you're a mad freaking scientist, okay? So yeah. So you remember the old Agrius decks from Opus 9?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you do the Agrius thing, you flip and you do your thing. Like this is like a late game Agrius, and then you play the ninja to pick up the Agrius and play the Thancred. So you get the ETB off of the Agrius again, which means you get another card. The Thancred brings something back, probably a Viking, but that doesn't matter. You drew a card. Then you play the Agrius again, and rinse, repeat the cycle. As far as the rest of the construction of the deck, I have no idea how this deck will look nowadays. I just know that it's not going to look amazing.
Yeah.
But
like
the biggest kicker for this card is that it's a high cost 8k forward with a high impact ETB. What, like this card literally screams play Amaterasu at me.
But even then, if you're playing the 2 colors and you don't have enough of each color, I feel it's just tearing itself apart.
It is. Like I can understand the flavor behind the card because like in 14 Shadowbringers, I think something Thancred lost his ability to generate mana or something like that, so he needs help to do so. But it's just
Yeah.
You know what I reckon? I reckon this is a mono lightning card.
Yeah. But you can't play it in mono lightning easily.
Yeah, you can. Class 6 Moogle.
Ah,
you can use the Moogle to generate water CP.
And just play the lightning side. Yeah, that might work.
Yeah, and like, yeah, you kill a thing, and if it's the only water forward you have, right, you could just revive Sid Trevia, give it haste, and swing in.
And technically, it's also a target for Zemus.
It's sort of just like, yes, you're giving something haste, but keep in mind as well, when this thing attacks, it kills active forwards. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got to keep that in mind as well. It's another knock against lightning. It only hits active things. Like,
Yes.
that's great when you're on the offensive, but when you're 5 points of damage down, you're not playing a Thancred to catch up.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah, this really hurts for a legendary card.
It's so disappointing. Like,
Even
What
his
should be,
even his
like, the
amazing
best
Gunblade
card?
can't make up for it.
yeah, what should be the best card in the set though? Like,
Someone finds the
So
one
somebody
interaction
actually
that makes
does
this
the
work.
mad scientist thing and builds that Agrius
Agrius.
Thancred deck.
Yeah.
All right, chat, get on it. Get on it, chat.
Get
We
on
want
it,
to see a
babes.
Thancred Agrius deck. Let's see this thing happen. Let's do it.
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
Let's see what madness we can generate with this thing.
Or don't and
Huh?
play real decks.
Bro.
The mad scientists are angry.
Next card, Freya. 2-cost Lightning Water. When Freya enters the field, select one of the 2 following actions. Draw 1 card, then discard 1 card from your hand, or choose 1 active forward, deal it 4k. I actually don't know about this one. I think there possibly is a use for it, but not really.
This is the worst of the 6 by far.
Now, everybody says that, but I feel like people are sleeping on it too much.
Yeah, I feel I get this little feeling that there is something this can slot into that will make it go from 0 to 100. I just can't think of what.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is where I come in, because you can play this in Mono Lightning as an Alcid target that replaces the Onion Knight, right?
Yeah.
You can play this as a Lena target that comes in and can handle small forwards for you. There's multiple ways you can actually play this card. This is probably one of the stronger recursion targets in either Lightning or Water, because the Lightning part could use the looting and the Water part could use the damage.
Yeah. That's what I was feeling. The only thing I regret is I feel this what would have been amazing in Wind Hybrid instead.
Very likely.
But yeah, I feel there is some. I feel this card can find a home and work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
right. Sorry, go on.
yeah, that's alright. I feel as though the decks I play, I can't justify it because, like, it's a Dragoon, yeah, but then it's just S-bait for Opus 3 Freya. I don't really want to be running a card just for that purpose. And, like, yeah, if you're running Lena, yeah, sure, cards probably bonk.
It's another 7k forward that you get out of it that happens to loot for you.
Yeah.
And do not underestimate the ability to loot.
Yeah.
Like getting rid of dead cards from your hand while also drawing a card at the same time.
Yeah,
even
It's ultra relevant.
Yeah, even though my first look at it made me feel I feel there is potential. There is a lot of potential here that.
Yeah, like I 100% want to be wrong about it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it.
Yeah.
In mono lightning, you'll run this as an Alcid target. In mono water, you'll run this as a Lena target. I don't think you'll run many copies on either direction, but it's possible.
Also, it doesn't replace those cards. It's an addition to those cards, so it's just another tech.
Yeah. But it's not even that techy. It's a card that adds to both strategies.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You don't have to use the original strategy. You can use the alternate.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by tech.
So So for example, if you're out-sitting a smaller forward, you could play the Freya and loot.
Yeah. Especially if that 6k damage kills it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you also had Rigdia. I know Rigdia isn't a 7k, but the ability to just kill one thing, dull another. That's what's
it's
yeah,
more
you wouldn't replace Rigdia. You'd have this in addition to Rigdia as another option.
You'd actually have this replacing Onion Knight, because Onion Knight only deals with damaged forwards. With Freya, you can sort of ping two things. You can 6k one, 4k another. But that's the key as well. It's 4k damage. 4k plus 6k pushes it to that 10k barrier that everybody seems to be gunning for nowadays. But You also get to do a 6 and a 4 if you want to, or you get to do a 6 and loot. It's like, don't sleep on this card. You will see it.
It doesn't change stuff. It opens new things.
I
Yeah.
think it's the sort of modal aspect that would push it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
But all I'm saying is don't sleep on this card because it will see play.
Yeah, I will at the very least keep it in.
All right, next card. Gwaine. This one I'm not too sure about. 4-cost water fire. When Gwaine enters the field, you may search for up to one fire job knight other than card named Gwaine, and one water job knight other than card named Gwaine, and add them to your hand. It is a 5k.
0 cost forwards, always valuable.
Yeah,
Yes, very.
but how is knights doing as a... Because I always feel it's knights and princesses, not pure knights.
Again, this is another one that's just so like this is beside Beatrix as well. Gawain and Beatrix push the knights archetype
Yes.
so close,
Yeah, like there's.
but so far away because there's only 3. Like realistically, there's only 3. Like there's actually 4, but there's only 3 fire job knights.
Yeah, because there's there's the next card, which is Steiner. There's Garland, which is like give your knights brave, and there's Rain, which is only really used as S bait for light rain.
It does say job knight. Are there many in backup slots?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's
They're
exactly
all forward slots.
So again, this is a potential card, but we need the actual support in knights for it to work.
Yeah,
If we get
and
more
again, if you're going into water fire, there's a better job archetype for that element combination, and we're going to talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, this is the one I actually ran this because I had 2 of the next card. I had 2 Steiners in my deck, and I like the fact that it could search for one of each of them. So I searched for one Steiner for the water and the other Steiner for the fire, and that's the main reason I ran it in my limited deck. But I could not see how that would work properly outside of that.
Again, never knock a forward that cost you 0 CP.
Yeah, but the 0 cost forwards that do more, I feel.
There's 0 cost forwards that do more for what they can do, but
it's still a 0 cost.
It's still a 0 cost forward. You never ever look past a 0 cost forward because it's a free. It's literally free, and it's able to deal damage to your opponent and win the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of knights, we have Steiner, 2-cost water fire 7k. When Steiner enters the field, select one of the 2 following actions. All forwards you control get plus 2k power until end of turn, which I love. Choose one forward of cost 3 or less opponent controls, return it to its owner's hand.
This one is cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Filthy powerful. Like even the anthem effect is amazing. Like pumping your entire field by 2k can just push you over the line because nobody wants to block that anymore. But it's not just that as well. It clears a way for something else too, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's also one of the few forwards that actually trades up for its cost. Like a two cost that it's soft removal, sure, but it's 2 cost that removes 3 cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Freaky's saying, it's Tempo Boy. I agree. I really like this card.
Yeah, it's like I love everything about this card. It's just the Cat 9 player in me hates that it's a Steiner.
Aww.
But that being said, the card is still good. I will expect this to see play because this is also good.
Yeah,
this is another knight as well, by the way, which can potentially push the deck over the line.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel if it wasn't for this Steiner, the last card, I wouldn't have liked it. I wouldn't have given as much credit as even the little bit I did without this one.
But it's still super good.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the art. And it looks like Licking agrees.
Yeah.
Welcome to the City Opera Omnia artwork.
Opera Omnia artwork's pretty cool, though.
Speaking of some cool artwork.
Here comes the Pharos.
Yep, so Warrior of Light. More stuff to feed you. Pharos, 4-cost water fire 8k. When Faris or a Job Warrior of Light forward enters your field, select one of the two following actions. Choose one forward, deal it 2k for each Job Warrior of Light forward you control, or during your turn, the cost required to cast your next Job Warrior of Light is reduced by 2.
This card is really cooked.
So I want to say something. I was winning with this card, forgetting the line or a Job Warrior of Light enters the field. I forgot that secondary part, and I was still winning with this card.
Oh yeah.
I completely botched this, and I only realized that when I went home, and I hate myself for it because it actually might have won me a couple of extra games I might have lost. But damn, it literally makes itself easier to reuse its ability.
Yeah, and not just that as well. Like we were talking about Warrior of Lights like at the very start with Igus and like cards being linchpins. Igus plays this for free.
Dusk.
Igus plays this monster of a card for nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. You paid one for a 9k and an 8k.
Which is going to make your next Warrior of Light cost 2 less.
Yeah, and you play Dusk for 1 to play another Warrior of Light for 1 to... Yes!
It's just... It's not just that as well. It's the fact that you can go, okay, my board's wide enough now. I'm going to start picking yours off.
Yeah, this is an amazing card.
Also note that its cost reduction applies to all Job Warrior of Light, so Sarah FFL is now a 0 cost.
Yeah. Oh no, it cannot become 0.
No, but it searches for 2 cards as a 4 cost. Backup. So it basically becomes a 0 cost backup. Wow, it
doesn't say Job Warrior of Light forward. It just says Job Warrior of Light. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
The card is just absolutely filthy.
Ludicrous.
Yeah.
We were talking about linchpins for Warrior of Light. This is the card. This is the linchpin for that deck. It's just like if you're playing Warriors of Light, you're playing Faris, and you're playing 3 of them.
100%.
Definitely. Yeah, this is amazing. If you guys open this, especially if you're doing draft, it's just great to go into Warrior of Light with the cards in this set as well. Yeah.
And again, this is like the only legend that's really needed for that deck, so it's easy to build on a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just easy to build on a budget. It's also, like, I've got to call it right now. The Warrior of Light deck is going to be the tier 1 aggro deck of the format. Yes. Nothing's going to come close to it.
All this value that it's oozing out. Oh.
It's just like, here's my 0 cost thing. Here's my 2 cost thing that drew a card. Here's this. Here's that. Oh, now I'm going to just I'm just going to keep playing forwards. Your forwards are going to die because Faris is still in play and you haven't dealt with her yet.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's like, and I'm going to love it. Play Soul. Fill your blocker for 1.
Yeah, this is an amazing card when I first opened it.
The card is so cooked.
It is so ridiculous.
Unfair. And that's the end.
Unfairest.
Unfairest. You know what? Let's end it with that picture there for this. I'm glad this was the last card. I didn't realize it was the last card.
Yeah.
But there we go, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Any last notes from any of you two?
I've got nothing really. I just have yourself as much fun as you possibly can playing Opus 12 because it's going to be a blast. If you're playing competitively, there's going to be so much, there's so many cool toys for you to play with now. If you're playing for fun, there's so many cool new toys for you to play with now. It's just, this is going to be, not to make any real serious puns or anything stupid, but this is the genesis of this game, this set.
Yes, this set is going to be this game.
Well, everyone who keeps asking me just in general about rotation ideas, I've always said to them, and this has always been my belief in games like this, 12 is the pinnacle number. 12 is where you have enough cards to do the rotation for up to 1 to 3 of the first 3 sets, it's also the one that's most easiest to create a secondary legendary set from. So I always said 12 is going to be where we see sort of these big, huge effects, and it's come to pass. And I'm really happy about it.
Yeah.
It's also, I feel, probably one of the more fun sets to draft, but that may be something we need more testing through.
Yeah. It's just, and when you're playing limited, don't draft snow.
Yeah, you passed that, boy.
I'll be completely honest. I'm not going to be even remotely interested in playing Opus 12 as a draft set purely because we've got the cube.
Yeah.
And
what would you even add from this?
and another thing as well, I cannot wait to see how they update the cube with this set because there's so much brilliant stuff that's come out of the set.
Yeah, but I still feel this is just a good limited set on its own, because we've rarely had those in this, which I just think is worth noting.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Like, it feels like, and it actually feels like an old Magic limited set where it comes down to look at the size of my board state, and now I'm going to actually play the game. Because every single time that I've played pre-release for this set, every single time, both sides have had like a full grip of backups, a full grip of cards in hand, and like 7 or 8 forwards in play. And everybody's trying to pick one off for that one little piece of advantage to try and get themselves over the line.
Yeah, definitely what I was feeling. So yeah, it looks like that answered my next question, which was going to be what you guys think of the set.
Oh yes,
this set is fantastic.
Yeah,
this is a brilliant set.
Experimenting with it, because I mean, after the Wind Lightning deck that I played yesterday, where it's just all the 1-drops with all the ninjas and just deal you as much damage as possible within about 3 turns. Oh.
Yeah, that deck scares me a little bit, if I can be honest.
Yeah, it's so much fun. This set is. I am this is the most excited I've been for Final Fantasy ever since Opus, even Opus 6.
Nah, that's good. Get some life back in. Do you guys want to say or plug anything before I start the sign off?
If you're interested in voice acting, I happen to be one, so
yeah, tell us about that.
That's
if you like.
Really it. That's really all I can mention. If you want, if you're interested, just send a message over to our old Red Lantern, and I'll pass in the link to my socials so you can go around and like it and all that. But
I have
other than that,
I have an idea for that, which we'll talk in private, not on here. But yeah, what about you, Squashed Peas?
I've got really nothing to plug. Just have yourselves a wonderful night.
Yeah, and hopefully, if everyone here really liked this and we get some traction, I'd love to have the same 2 co-hosts for, more FF content or next Opus, and do this again next Opus. So, yeah, definitely, especially
Absolutely.
on the YouTube. Yeah, definitely on the YouTube, leave a comment, let me know stuff. Anyone on Twitter, please follow. I'm happy to listen. I want to do more stuff like this. You can still follow and ignore, my solo stuff, and then just pay attention to the FF. That being said, yeah, give me a follow on Twitch. Give me a sub on YouTube. I have links between both, so you can easily find the other end. If you know people that would enjoy this, please send them my way, or send them to the YouTube way. And besides that, thank you, Squashed Peas and Rob. It was really fun, and I appreciate you guys taking your time out. Nearly 5 hours, or more than 5 hours, to do this.
Over 5 hours.
Yeah, well over 5.
But it's well worth the time.
Yes, definitely. Oh, goodbye, guys, and mad scientists, get on it.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, stay safe and all that stuff.